The Con Maestro wins. Flawless victory. Fatality. If you guys know who that is, Shao Kahn. Actually, one of the characters that I made my YouTuber name out of, Con Maestro, Shao Kahn. Kahn being king of Outworld or emperor. Love Mortal Kombat, as you guys can tell. Kind of made my name around the whole Mortal Kombat lore of Outworld. And my favorite character in Mortal Kombat, if you guys wanted to know, obviously being Shao Kahn. I love the big, overly strong bad guys. Shao Kahn, Darkseid, Thanos, those are my type of guys. The big, giant dudes that it takes a whole team of guys to beat. And with the whole Mortal Kombat intro here, finally getting the Mortal Kombat Storm Collectibles MOTARO out, and I'm going to be doing the unboxing and review for that now. Super excited to go ahead and get this out and start unboxing it and do the review for it. It was only $100, which is much cheaper than some of the MOTAROs that I see online. A lot of the base prices for that is at least like 120 to 150 in that range, some even going higher than that. So I'm glad that I was able to find this in store and at $100. This is the lowest price that I've actually been able to see it at. Especially if you look on eBay, it's much pricier than this ended up being for me. So I'm very glad to actually have it and to be able to add it to my collection. Let's go ahead and get straight into this unboxing right now.
Finish her. MOTARO wins. Fatality.
Here's the front of the box, guys. As you can see, Mortal Kombat MOTARO right there, Storm Collectibles Action Series. You got a little bit of MOTARO's face there, kind of split between the angle. Moving it over here, you get to see a little bit more of MOTARO. Then you take it to the back, you get to see the figure, some of the interchangeable faces, some of the poses, some of the other accessories. Moving it over here, you get to see another MOTARO, the actual figure itself. And there you are. Let's go ahead and get it out of the box. Boom, and there he is out of the box. This is MOTARO from Mortal Kombat. He looks absolutely gorgeous. I've got to be honest with you. I do this with every unboxing, every single review. First time when I get the figure out of the box, or any product for that matter out of the box, I give you my first impressions. This has to be one of the prettiest action figures I have ever gotten. And I am not even lying to you. This is probably one of the prettiest. The paintwork is done so well. The skin on MOTARO looks so smooth. It's so well done. Everything about him looks highly detailed. All of the tones, everything about him. He looks like he came straight out of the game. You know what I mean? He's not too overtly bright, but he looks like he's been from a video game. But he also looks dark and serious enough that he fits the tone of Mortal Kombat, especially stuff like Mortal Kombat 9, some of the earlier Mortal Kombats, kind of the ones that were more grittier. And it's just gorgeous. I mean, this is such a good figure. I cannot describe to you how I felt when I opened this out of the box. I literally gasped. I was like, oh my gosh, this is really good. This beats McFarlane. In my opinion, this beats Marvel Legends. This beats any of that stuff. And with the price that he is, I mean, he better. So as a person who unboxes and reviews stuff, as a collector, first impressions, I'm already impressed. Already. He has so many different points of articulation, especially with him being a MOTARO, him having a horse body for the most part. He's going to have all of those joints. He's going to have this shoulder joint, obviously, especially back here as well. Going to have kind of that shoulder joint there for both legs. Right here, he kind of has the, what you would call that, kind of the bicep and tricep crunch right there. He's got it right here. He kind of has like an elbow joint right down here. He has the ankle joints down here for the hooves as well. Back here, he has the same thing. He's got the actual knee joint back here. He's got kind of the, what do you call it? The second ankle slash knee joint kind of that weird joint that all the like horses have, and then he's also got the actual ankle joint right there near the hooves. Very, very good articulation on the actual legs. You could see the musculature in the legs. They look very, very good. The toning of the paintwork down into the muscles, making it look absolutely amazing. Moving on to the actual arms here, you have kind of a, I believe they call it like a butterfly joint in the arms. You have the inner joint here, which is literally a piece of plastic that kind of covers up the crease in there that goes into the joint, because you've got the little peg that comes out that attaches to the actual shoulder joint right there. That peg is very, very long, allowing you more articulation, and this little piece here, this little like butterfly joint type thing going on right there, allows more of him to be able to move out without it looking like one big gap. So he doesn't really have a gigantic gap right there. I mean, he's got a little gap right there, but most of it's covered up by this piece right here, if you guys can see it right there. And then you have the actual shoulder here. So you've got that joint right there. You've got the shoulder, which goes down into the biceps and triceps right there. That joint as well, that kind of part of rotation. You have the actual elbow joint, double jointed. And then it moves on to the forearm with his spike here. Once you get up here to the wrist, you also have that rotation, being able to rotate the wrist side to side, moving it up and down and kind of in and out. Very, very, very good articulation just from there. The chest itself is actually very rubbery. It is not plastic at all. You can kind of see it. It's like a plastic, like it's almost like a rubber almost, more than it is an actual hard plastic, which is really, really good. So you have more maneuverability there as well. You're able to actually bend his chest and stuff to allow you to do stuff like I had him doing there, where he's kind of crossing his arms. You obviously have the head joint, him able to look up and look down, look side to side, full rotation all the way back, kind of tilt his head as well. Really, really good for a character who has horns and has kind of a ram head. That's kind of what you want, is a lot of maneuverability on his neck and his head, allowing him to kind of bash people with his head in multiple different ways and flip people with his horns. That's kind of what MOTARO is known for. Then you get down here and you kind of have the same type of material here, except it's a little tougher for the abs. It's kind of harder plastic. You have the rotation right there when you get to the waist, which is really, really good as well. You have all of this detail here connecting up here with the waist, kind of his belt that goes under his belly and over his back that connects back here to the tail. The tail is actually wire on the inside, which I love. As a collector, wire is one of the best things for a super long appendage or limb. When it comes to characters like Doc Ock from Spider-Man, where he's got those long robotic arms, with something like that, or when you're going for like kind of the elongated arms or legs of somebody like Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, or in this case, you have MOTARO's tail. I love that they give you a wire tail with the rubber tail exterior around it, because it allows you a whole lot more maneuverability than joints will allow you. You know, you only have so much maneuverability when you've got joints. But when you have a wire, you can bend that wire any possible way you want. You can quite literally tie it all the way up and wrap it around something like a snake, like a boa constrictor. You can completely wrap it around something, which I absolutely love. I think it was a great choice to put a wire inside the tail. I much rather like that. And then once you get to the tip here, there is nothing kind of holding it. There's nothing sturdy, and the wire does not go all the way through there. So the tip spear part of the tail is actually very flimsy, and it's rubbery, so you can kind of flick it and bend it, and it will not stay any specific way. So if you were hoping for the spearhead on the end of his tail to kind of hold somebody up, that will unfortunately probably be very difficult to do. You can definitely have him stab it at somebody, but when it comes to actually lifting somebody up, you might need to use a figure's arms or legs or something to hold onto the actual wire tail and make it look like the spear stabbed all the way through the person, because he doesn't really have anything holding it there. Still really cool. Like I said, love the whole wire aspect. It would have been really cool if the tip of the spear was actually very hard. That spear scorpion tip was a little bit more durable and able to hold up the weight of other stuff. That would be really, really cool. But at the end of the day, It is as cool as it could possibly get for me. I mean, I am already amazed. I am very much astonished at how good this was. I know that Storm Collectibles is a very good figure company, but I was not expecting this good of quality, especially for video game characters. A lot of video game characters just don't get the right level of respect and attention to detail that they should for a lot of the companies, which is very, very sad. But that is not what we have here with this action figure. This action figure is amazing. So that is the articulation. We went over some of the details and the painting and stuff, how well it looks, how good it looks. Let's go to get straight into actually comparing MOTARO next to some other figures that I have. A lot of these figures, if not all these figures, have been in a Mortal Kombat game. I tried to keep the theme there. So let's go ahead and compare it first to somebody who has been in Mortal Kombat since the beginning, basically. We have the super powerful boss of Mortal Kombat, Shao Kahn. That is Shao Kahn. Oop, he almost fell there. That is Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat 11, as you can see there. That is his height compared to the Storm Collectibles MOTARO. MOTARO easily going far taller than Shao Kahn is. Granted, I believe that's actually how it is canonically. I believe MOTARO is far taller than Shao Kahn anyways. Shao Kahn being a very tall behemoth of a Khan, but even then MOTARO species is far taller. Very, very cool. I love this comparison. They look very good together. And it even goes to show, furthermore, how much brighter his skin is compared to somebody like this Shao Kahn from McFarlane. I really, really like that detail. The paintwork looks so good. It makes MOTARO look alive and vibrant, and I really, really like that. So moving Shao Kahn out of the way here, we're going to move on to somebody that's been a little bit more recent. We have Ghostface, who was brought in as a DLC character in a combat pack for Mortal Kombat 1. So this is the NECA Ghostface right there from Ghostface Inferno, the pack from NECA, like I said. That is his size compared to the Storm Collectibles MOTARO, as you can see there. Very, very good. And again, pretty much canonically the size it probably would be. You know, MOTARO is a very, very tall guy. Ghostface being around 6 foot to 6'2" does not surprise me. That is kind of where he sits, right under his chest almost. The hood kind of making him taller as well. Taking the hood off, you get to see a little bit more of the actual height there. But yep, very, very cool. Like that a lot. And then the last figure that I will compare him with, we have the one character that was a part of the fighter pack, DLC pack from Mortal Kombat 11. We have Spawn. Absolutely love Spawn as a character from Image Comics. He is a great character, and I absolutely loved him being a character addition in Mortal Kombat 11. He was one of the characters I used a whole lot. And there's kind of the size comparison there between Spawn and MOTARO. Very, very cool. So he definitely sizes up very well to a lot of the other figures that I have, especially the figures that have been in Mortal Kombat games, and he looks great compared to them. He holds up very well, if not looks better than some of the other figures that I have, which is great. Moving on, we're going to go ahead to some of the accessories back here, moving that box out of the way. We'll set him off a little bit to the side. You'll still be able to see him, but I want to get these accessories out here. Firstly, we have an additional head for MOTARO. We have his yelling, screaming, kind of angry face when he's in the midst of battle. You have his stoic, stern face that he already kind of had on him when I got him out of the box. You also have that serious face there. He comes with 4 other hands. So he has 3 sets of hands in total. The 2 fists here. He has 2 open hands there, and then he has 2 grabbing hands to be able to grab onto his opponents. He also comes with a blast effect that comes from his tail. If you know anything about MOTARO, if you've ever played with MOTARO in the Mortal Kombat games, you would know that MOTARO has a move where he is able to use his scorpion tail and actually shoot an energy ball out of it, and it will straight burn up and incinerate his foes. And if you use it enough, there's actually, a fatality, where he straight burns the other person up and ends up holding their skeleton up in the air. Moving on to the next accessory, which follows suit just with that, we have the actual skeleton that he holds up once he does that fatality. So there you are. the full skeleton. And what's even cooler about this skeleton accessory, they did not need to do this. They went above and beyond with this, in my opinion. Not only is it bloody to kind of match how it looks in the game once you get done killing one of the other opponents that he's fighting against, they give you multiple other hands for the skeleton. It is absolutely insane and super cool. Let me go ahead and pop this out here with everything falling out of it. Let's try to minimize the damage there. Let's go ahead and pull that out. There's the energy ball. Might as well go ahead and show you them since they're all falling out. Here are all the hands here. Right there. Look very, very good. Love the paintwork on them as well. It looks absolutely amazing. Could not ask for better paintwork on this, to be honest with you. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Putting the hands back the way that they were. Here's the actual skeleton itself that he holds up. Very, very good. Looks very bloody. I absolutely love it. Very much the Mortal Kombat kind of theme and feel. And this is also basically a figure of its own. It has great articulation, rotates a lot, and it has a lot of articulation for just being kind of an accessory, for just being a skeleton. You know, the hands rotate. It has the whole elbow joint there. It's got the shoulder joint. It's got the hip joints that kind of rotate in and out and are able to rotate, you know, in a full circle. You've got the knee joints. You've got the ankle joints, which are also able to rotate there for the feet, which is absolutely insane to me. Really, really cool that they added all this. You can rotate the actual skeleton at the very base, bottom part of the spine that connects to the hips, and you can also rotate it at the mid part right there, right before you hit the rib cage. They give you a little sponge in between the rib cage to kind of keep the rib cage from being able to collapse. So if you ever want to store that skeleton back, they give you that sponge to be able to put in there. That way you don't have to worry about the rib cage actually collapsing, which I think is absolutely amazing. And then you actually have the head, which has great rotation, is able to look up and do all types of different maneuverability. I love that. This figure is already absolutely amazing. It is a singular figure, but I mean, honestly, technically you're getting two out of it, which I think is great. There's the screaming head right there. Let me focus in on there. Great paintwork and great detail and job. It absolutely looks great. And then you actually, it comes with a stand, a clear stand here, as you guys can see. It comes with a bunch of little pieces that all come together into one long stand that is able to hold MOTARO and or the skeleton up, which I absolutely appreciate. As a collector, I love standing up my stuff, so being able to stand it up and having something to support it is great. And then we actually have the skeleton's other accessories, which I wanted to go ahead and get out here to show you all the other hands. Focus in there. There you are. You have multiple different types of open hands and pointing hands and things of that nature. MOTARO doesn't just have to hold the skeleton. You can honestly make the skeleton in any type of pose that you really want. And then it also comes with some additional little joints and pegs for MOTARO, which I think is absolutely amazing. I guess it is in case you lose or, you know, you're missing a peg. If a peg happens to fall out or you're unable to get it, and or if a peg breaks, you have these pegs to kind of replace for the hands, I believe, which is absolutely amazing. I love that. I love when they give you extra stuff that you don't really need, but is very, very helpful and can be helpful down the road. And as a collector, it is just something that absolutely makes my heart sing, because it just shows the amount of care and attention to detail that the people that made this put into it. It shows that the people that made this figure actually care about the product, about the people that are going to buy it, and about the character and the game itself. It just shows the absolute passion that these people have for these figures, which I really, really appreciate, like I said. So there you guys are. We went over basically everything from the attention to detail, the paint work, the articulation, comparing it to the other figures and the sizes and the way the other figures look from some of the other different companies. Like I said, NECA, McFarlane, things of that nature. And then we actually went over all the accessories and all the other stuff it comes with. We are now coming down to my final verdict over what I think about this figure. Technically two figures, like I said. This figure is a 10 out of 10. Honestly, 11 out of 10. This figure is gorgeous. It is great. It has such good detail. There was not almost anything about this figure that made it worse. There's only one thing that I could possibly say about it that would even remotely get to negative, but it is not anything that bothers me, and that is the fact that the spear on the end of his tail is not very sturdy to hold up any type of figure. But like I said, there's ways around it. You can make him stab at another figure. You can make it to where the figure is kind of sliding down his tail as if it's stabbed all the way through it. There's many different ways you can go around that, and honestly, I kind of like it as well because it gives you more room. If you've ever dealt with wire inside of a figure, sometimes the wire ends up poking out. So actually having that additional spear there kind of gives you more room so that that wire does not poke through, which I really, really like as well. So that honestly is not too much of a negative for me. Like I said, everything about this figure is great. I don't think I could praise this figure anymore. This is not a character that I was overtly fond of when I played the games. It was not a figure that I apologize. It is not a character that I went out of my way to play with. He was very unique, and every once in a while I would use him just because he was so unique and he was so cool looking. But for the most part, he wasn't my cup of tea. But when it comes to an action figure, this is great. This is absolutely amazing. As someone who loves Mortal Kombat, for a character that a lot of people don't overtly like, it's not their favorite, for a video game character that oftentimes gets overshadowed by people like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Shao Kahn, Noob Saibot, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Jax Briggs, from all those other characters that 9 times out of 10 overshadow Motaro. He looks great. They put so much work into this, and I can tell, and I appreciate it. They did not have to go this crazy on this figure, and yet they did. And honestly, I'm applauding it. This is great. This is how you do a figure. This is how you do a Mortal Kombat figure, and this is how you do Motaro. Honestly, I have not seen many other Motaro figures. This is the only Motaro figure that I've been able to actually see. And from that knowledge alone, I'm going to probably go ahead and say this. This is probably the best Motaro figure there is out there, to be honest with you. This is probably in the top 2, if not top 3, if not number 1 Motaro figure that is out there. I have not seen any other Motaro figures out there. Like I said, he's not an overtly popular character. He's one of those kind of niche characters that people will recognize. He's unique enough that people will know what he's from, but he's not somebody that a lot of people go out of their way to get. But I saw this figure and just had to get it. My love for Mortal Kombat and fighting games was just too much. So with that being said, guys, if you enjoyed my unboxing of this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all thought about this. We're going to go ahead and move straight over to some of the pictures, and then we're going to go ahead and close out of the video.
Outstanding. Don't make me laugh. Brutality. Fatality. Impressive.
And yeah, there you guys have it. There was all the pictures there. I had so much fun posing this figure. Like I said, it's like a 10, 11 out of 10. If we're wanting to keep it in between the 10 out of 10 scale, I'm going to make it a 10 out of 10. This is an amazing figure. It does not get much better than this. Absolutely love this figure. Gorgeous. As you guys can see, everything about him. Give you another look here. I am so glad to have this in my collection. I will be so happy to be able to show this figure off. Number 1, to my siblings and to any of my friends. This is an absolutely amazing figure to have. And anybody that loves Mortal Kombat, I'm willing to bet, is going to love this figure. There's no way that you could love Mortal Kombat and not like this figure. Even if you don't like Motaro, the attention to detail and all of the crazy stuff this comes with just makes this so perfect. It does not get much better than this. So with that being said, I will catch you on the next video. Peace.